All right, welcome to another awesome edition of Dipping Milk and Cookies, the podcast where two best buds try to figure out this thing we call life using microphones, guests, and friends. Guys, I am Garrett, your Cookie Commander Smith.
And I am Mike, the Master Milker Segovia.
It's getting better. Pardon me. How you doing, bud?
I'm solid. I did something in my back earlier in the week, and it's just been like tight this whole week. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. It was bad the other day. That was not good. But overall, the week's been all right. Good. I go see the doctor on Monday for the 1 month checkup.
Yep.
To see, I'm gonna get labs again, see where my levels are. So I'm hoping that this change in diet and everything is gonna actually pay off. Because if not, I'm gonna be so mad. So mad.
It's gonna pay off, Mike, for sure. That it's already paying dividends, dude. I was saying to you out there, in the middle of your story, you look good, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely know the plight of throwing the back out. I threw my back out a month ago at the gym, and it sucked because I couldn't work out for 2-3 weeks. And what happened? I gained 10 pounds real quick. But luckily, my back is feeling better now. I'm back at the gym. So I've actually lost that 7 pounds. I'm down 7 pounds again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, this episode, guys, I know we said that Ian McCain was supposed to be on. Unfortunately, he had some family emergency that he had to deal with, so we had to push his interview back another week, so he will be on next week's episode. So we just kind of haphazardly improvised today's episode, and seeing to it that it is October, and seeing to it that Halloween and scary stuff is my favorite stuff in the world, we're going to do a Haunted Wisconsin episode. We're gonna talk about some haunted places. We're going to do our best to tell our our most scary stories.
I got a funny story.
Yeah, his is really funny. Mine's really scary. And then we actually do have a special guest. We're not gonna not do an episode with a guest, or without a guest rather. So we have a guest, a friend of the podcast, that's gonna come on and tell a story of her own. But yeah, dude, this week work. I love my job. I really do love my job, which is really weird to say because lots of people, you ask them just hey man, where do you work? It's just I hate my job. Okay, cool story, man. I really do enjoy my work, but there are so many little nuances that just drive me bananas, just crazy. Everybody, you're there for 12 hours, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has a routine. And for whatever reason, when I do my routine, that's when people start asking questions dude, yeah, you can't do that. And it's just bro, I just saw you do the same thing an hour ago. Why? What? Okay. All right, man. It's the one thing that drives me crazy about that job. And, obviously I'm not going to quit. Or am I? I'm not going to quit. I can't quit. But it gets so annoying. And that literally was the one drawback of my week. Otherwise, it's been all right. It's been a little rough. Finally found a spot to live. Can move out of the jam spot, which is nice. Get my kitty cats back. Can't wait. But yeah, this week's been good. It's been good.
That's good.
And truth be told, everybody, I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. But I'm gonna push through for you guys. So let's jump in to some articles here. Coming from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, we got the top 10 most haunted places. Now, obviously, hauntings. Everybody has their own opinions, right? You're either a believer or you're not, and I feel I don't believe it until I see it, kind of thing. But at the same time, I want to believe it so bad, because again, I love Halloween. I love October. I love scary stuff. It's my favorite time of the year. I want to be a believer, but sometimes it's so hard. It's so hard to really just blindly believe, some of these stories. So take everything with a grain of salt. PSA there. We'll start. Let's see. Summerwind, Land O'Lakes, the state's most haunted site sits in the far northern reaches of Wisconsin. Summerwind Mansion was built as a fishing lodge in the early 1900s and remodeled in 1916 by Robert Lamont, who would go on to be U.S. Secretary of Commerce under Herbert Hoover. The house appears to have been haunted from the start, but the Lamonts disregarded the whispers among the wait staff of strange noises and events. Let me pull this a little bit. Whoopsie. There we go. Then one night, Lamont fired 2 shots at what he thought was an intruder, only to discover there was no one there. The Lamonts abruptly left the house and all their belongings that night and never returned. That's the one thing that I always find funny is when you hear of haunted places and stuff like that, and the families or the people just stay there. Like, dude, if I'm at home and say a plate just falls off the counter randomly and shatters and nobody's in the room, like, I'm gonna automatically feel uneasy. You know what I mean? To the point where, like, I'm gonna go. And I'm black, dude. I'm gonna be the first one to die. That's just a given. So yeah, I'm out. So it sounds like the Lamonts were doing the right thing here. The house had numerous owners over the ensuing years, including Arnold and Ginger Hinshaw, who bought Summerwind in the early 1970s. For 6 months, the couple and their 4 children endured all manner of psychic phenomenon, including fleeting shadows, whispering voices, random pockets of chilled air, and objects that moved on their own. While they were living there, Arnold had a nervous breakdown and Ginger attempted suicide. Their story was documented in a 2005 Discovery Channel episode of Haunting. That, dude. Again, and I'm sure too, like, when a house is sold, like, it's full disclosure, like the real estate agent has to say, like, hey,
No. They don't say
just
that
to give
at
you a
all.
heads up, somebody killed themselves upstairs, supposedly because a demon told them to do it. You're gonna sign right here on that dotted line there. Like, how I don't know. I've never bought a house before, so I can't imagine what that conversation actually is like. But if I was buying a house and the guy said, so, all right, not for nothing, this place might be haunted. Okay. What? Say that again? Haunted? Like, go on. Yeah, I don't know. When I was in New Orleans, like, they literally, it's a lot of the houses, a lot of the places for sale down there, they say they're haunted. Like, it's just
Probably
something.
are.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, with all, I forget, Madam. Shit, what is her name? Madam something LaRue. Chrissy, you're shaking your head like you know. What's her name? Do you know her name? No.
I don't.
No.
Are you talking about the one from American Horror Story?
No. New Orleans. What is her name? What do I even search? I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, New Orleans is haunted as shit. Moving on. Number 2, Nielsen's Hall, Washington Island. Nielsen's Pub is steeped in history and tradition thanks to former owner Tom Nielsen. Deeply devoted to bitters, which he drank daily until his death at age 90. Gross. Nelson managed to keep his bar open during Prohibition by getting a pharmacy license and selling his spirits as medicine. That's boss as shit.
That's so good. That's clever.
Yeah, right. Modern problems require modern solutions. Such was his love for his pub that he has refused to leave the place even 100 years after his death. Nielsen lived and died in the apartment above the bar, where phantom footsteps have been heard on the stairs. The ghost often acts in mischievous ways, including appearing in front of unsuspecting women using the restroom and changing the radio station so he can still enjoy his favorite music. I wouldn't be too worried about that. That's his place. It's when people
Sounds like it's a peaceful spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Entity.
Mischievous, but
Yeah. Well, there's
it's not like it's terrorizing people.
exactly. It's not making them kill somebody, kill themselves or something. Mary of Elk Lake Dam. That's an Elk Lake. Like many ghost stories, this one is rooted in tragedy. This one is rooted in tragedy. In 1974, the body of young Mary Schloss was found in the rural Elk Lake area. At the time, police believed the victim had been hitchhiking from Minneapolis to Chicago. That's bold. When she was picked up by her killer, a man had been seen pushing a body out of a car, but that lead went nowhere, and the case remains open and cold to this day. This lack of resolution may explain why Mary's restless spirit has continued to stay on the scene. Paranormal activity in the area includes fleeting and disappearing shapes and shadows, mysterious floating lights, spectral noises, and apparitions. The one local elderly woman reported daily visits from Mary, while two fishermen claimed to have had a frightening encounter. They were fishing on a dam when one said to the other, "There's a glowing white woman behind us." "I know," the other man replied, "but I'm not turning around." It sounds exactly like what we would say, just like we were saying it up before. She's right behind me, and she just, I'm not going to turn around. No. Dude, see, that's the thing, man. Like, all of these stories, I
mean, the history just behind hauntings and spirits goes.
They have to be real because people have been talking about it. People have been talking about it forever.
Yeah,
forever. So there has to be some sort of credibility to these claims.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of. The way I look at it is, if you can believe in the God or anything like that, there's no reason to not believe in ghosts, because it's essentially the same thing. And it goes way back, like you said, New Orleans being haunted, all the stuff that they would do down there with like voodoo and raising spirits, even further back with witches and covens, and it goes really deep. Like, you can really find some real crazy stuff when you start really digging in.
Yeah, when you do the deep dive. Yeah, for sure. Riverside Cemetery. This is in Appleton. Discreetly set apart from the main grave sites at Riverside Cemetery is the final resting place of Kate Blood. Ooh. Rumors have long swirled around this woman with the fateful last name. According to various sources, she was a witch, a child killer, an adulteress, and a murder victim at the hands of her husband. Well, although the details of Blood's life or fate are unknown, her gravesite has become a hotbed of paranormal activity. Many visitors have reported an eerie chill, and some have seen a dark hooded figure that vanishes into thin air. Even more spine-chilling are the stories of blood oozing from the headstone. That's creepy as shit. That's scary. I don't know. But see, that's the thing, like, blood oozing from the headstone. If somebody, like, saw that, why didn't they, like, scoop it up and be like, come back and test this? Like, where did this come from? It's blood. Like, it's 2020. We have forensics. We can figure that stuff out. So, like, if you take the blood from the headstone and you test it, and it's just like, it doesn't come back to anybody in a database, and it's just like, well, this blood's 100 years old. I don't know. I feel like with all of these experiences, there's usually about 15% of them that there was some sort of, like, tangible object that they could have, like, gathered to, like, show, like, this is from the ghost or some shit like that. I don't know. Brumder Mansion. This is in Milwaukee. Since 1910, the 8,000 square foot Brumder Mansion has gone through numerous incarnations, yeah. Once operating as a boarding house and later as a coffee house and parsonage. There was no evidence of paranormal activity here until renovations began in the late 1990s to restore the home to its original state. Today, the mansion is a B&B, providing lavish accommodations for both the living and the dead. That's a good sales pitch. George Brumner's sister was said to be so fond of the house that she never left. Her presence has been felt in her old room, now the Gold Suite. She is said to have shown her displeasure with changes in the decor or with animals on the premises. Man, screw you, lady. Up to 3 other spirits are also thought to inhabit the mansion. One overnight guest, an American Indian medicine man, declared the spirits benevolent but very talkative. See, again, like, dude, if the place is a B&B, like, clearly there's foot traffic and clearly people are taking note of spirits in the house because they're talkative. Pull out your phone and start recording. I mean, obviously nobody really trusts the shaky cell phone video, but at the same time, it wouldn't hurt. It's a lot better than just saying, like, oh yeah, we had a really, really deep conversation about the stock market. It was pretty interesting. It just doesn't happen, and I don't understand why people don't try to, document their experiences. Let's go to this other list. Let's see what we got over here. The Pfister, yeah, one of the scariest places in the state of Wisconsin, confirmed by the Travel Channel, so it's very serious, is the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee. I've definitely heard that the Pfister is haunted for sure.
Absolutely.
There have been several reports of hauntings here, most of which are by the founder himself, Charles Pfister. I've never actually I've lived in Milwaukee essentially my whole life. I've never walked into the Pfister, ever. Have you ever been in there?
I don't think so either.
Yeah, it's fun. It's weird, right?
We've wanted to go, but just not haven't. We want to go to try to do like some ghost experiences, try to.
Yeah, you
see-
used to be really big into that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, still am. Just having the kids now, I can't really go out as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jenny and I would definitely go out. Tons of places. We bought recorders.
Yeah, you bought
cameras,
like all
like,
the
we had-
gear.
yeah,
I
we had
remember
stuff.
because I remember clowning on him hard, really hard. Like, you can catch a ghost.
Yeah,
All right, whatever you say, Ghostbuster.
yeah. I mean, it's really, it's just fun, like to get scared like that, because
Makes you feel
if
alive.
I mean, all the movies that are out there that you see, some of them are based off of like true events, and like when you watch those, and then you watch, I don't know, Ghost Adventures and all these other shows about paranormal stuff, and you start to see certain things. Like, yeah, absolutely, I've seen so much shit where it's like, come on. But then there's other stuff that you see and just like,
I'm gonna leave now.
okay.
I want to get as far away from this as I can.
Like, yeah, as much as I hate to say, like, Ghost Adventures is probably the most credible, but they really are. Like, Zach really gets into it. And like I was telling you earlier, the museum that he has,
Yeah.
some of the artifacts that he's gotten there is just absolutely like, why would you even have that? Like,
I'm trying to keep people safe, man.
it,
I know how to battle these bastards.
and you know what? That's a thing. Some of these guys that actually do the ghost hunting, like they know spells, they know certain rituals and stuff, because if you're really into that, you want to feel like you have some sort of something in your hand, like.
Ace up your sleeve.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. The more you,
I'm not just some random normie. I know your ways, and then in the name of the Father, Son, and
Yeah.
and then they're like, ah. So yeah, it's giving yourself some sort of an advantage, I suppose.
yeah, I mean,
suppose.
I don't think it's necessarily gonna help you.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
But I'm sure. I don't know. Now I'm gonna start really going down like a rabbit hole, like talking about it.
Do it.
I was just gonna say that, like, dude, there's people that do the witch stuff, and there's guys that are warlocks, and
Weirdos.
yeah, I mean, but you you could do stuff, like, it's like magic, like
Yeah.
it's like believing in magic. Like, if you can believe it, I don't know. If you have an open mind to it, that you'll be able to experience it, I think, a lot more.
Yeah.
If you're just so close-minded, you're not gonna. I mean, you'll experience something if it's like really major. If the spirit wants you to know, like, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna
Kill
show up.
yourself. Choke yourself.
Like, when Jenny and I first got together, one of the first 3 months we were together, we got a Ouija board, and we played with the Ouija board, and then ever since then, we haven't necessarily been like getting haunted, but there's some strange stuff that would happen. One of the instances was after we did that, we went to this is the funniest story. We went to a company picnic and had some drinks, got some, and we had really been like deep into Paranormal State, so we would just watch it, and then she said I got possessed. And then I tried to exorcise the demon out of her,
Exorcise the demons.
throwing water at her, and I was chanting some crap from the show. And
What's the line from The Exorcist? The power of Christ
Yeah.
compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
but yeah, that was like
Can you
10
stop?
years ago.
Can you stop putting my?
And then after that, we had moved into Muskego into this apartment, and one random night we were just sitting in the living room, and then a big dinner plate just fell off the counter, like it's like picked up and just dropped. It just shattered, and we both kind of just like, Like,
I do believe that was the spirit of a cat because they were hungry and they were like, where's my food? Knocked it off the counter.
We did get into the equipment, and we'd go to like Whitnall Park. That was like the one that we went to the most because it was just, it's easier to get in there. Mm-hmm. You know, you just tell the cops, hey, I'm gonna go check out Whitnall Park, see the ghost, and they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, right. Nerd.
But it's definitely something that I do believe in. I don't see how I can't, because it just.
I'd like to believe. I will always listen. I will always listen to the story, but you have to be prepared for the fact that at the end of that story, I might say you're full of shit. But yeah, until I see it though, that's the thing. Until I see it, I can't believe until I see it. But I want to believe it so bad. Because again, I love scary stuff. It is the best. So yeah, I have got a terrifying story. But before I get into that, let's say hi to our sponsor. Axelstrad is a company built on core values of integrity, sustainability, and innovation, and is passionate about finding solutions for business growth. By working together, they will find activities that add value to your business while creating a framework that is flexible yet structurally sound and allows your business to grow profitably. Axel Weber, founder of Axelstrad, is bringing a new, fresh, organic approach to doing business in today's ever-changing landscape. Equipped with a bachelor's of business administration accounting from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, associates in music production and recording technology from Madison Media Institute, and coupled with real-world experience as a financial controller, Alex is a leader in business administration using analytical and creative approaches to developing sustainable business growth strategies. Right now, our faithful milkers and dippers are going to receive 15% off of up to the first $300 with any service that Axelstrad offers, okay? Now guys, anybody who has done any kind of digital work, any kind of media, marketing, anything of the sort, can understand it gets a little pricey, so don't wait. Act right now. Get down on this deal because it's like crazy. It's a stupid deal. Again, 15% off up to the first $300 with any service offered by Axelstrad. But you have to make sure that you said Studio DMC sent you. Okay, you won't get the promotion if you don't mention dipping milk and cookies. To reach the great staff at Axelstrad, please call 818-585-8742 or send an email to ateam@axelstrad.com. Again, that phone number is 818-585-8742. Prepare yourself to be stratified. All right, welcome back, everybody. So my story, it's not really a ghost story, but it's definitely a story that is worth telling because I was so terrified. Everybody's seen scary movies, right? You know the setups. Everybody is, at least I should think everybody has seen a scary movie in their day. But this was probably like 12 years ago. It's at least 10 years. Me and an ex of mine, we went up north to Iron Mountain because her friend had like a cabin just out on this like 100-foot bluff. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous out there. But to get there, that was a different story. So keep in mind, I'm driving a 1987 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, okay? That car was the shit. That was the best car. I got that car for $1 from my grandma. Thanks, Grandma. But yeah, so keep in mind, that's the car I'm driving. When you get that far up north, especially when you're going to like a cabin off the beaten path, the roads aren't really that nice, okay? So I'm already tripping out because I think my exhaust is about to fall off my car because I'm driving essentially on a dirt path through the middle of the woods. And that's the thing. That's what Okay. So we're driving, we're in the woods, and the actual like tree cover is just getting thicker and thicker and thicker. I had already lost my cell phone reception like 2 hours before that, so we couldn't call anybody to try to like make sure that we knew exactly which way we were going, because she was just like, I haven't been up here in a while. I know how to get there, but I haven't been in there in a while, so we'll find it. And I'm just like, okay, we'll find it, I guess. So we're driving through the woods. Now there's like these signs like nailed to the trees on this path. The one that stood out the most to me was "Good morning, nurse." What the hell? Why? Who put that there? So that first red flag. We're driving, and it's another like 20 minutes until we actually get to like the spot where we need to make a choice because we reach a fork in the road. And again, it's just like it's scary movie. It's just like, all right, survive, you're gonna die, kind of thing. And she was just like, I'm pretty sure we go to the right. And I was just like, you're pretty sure? Like I need like 100%. You're pretty sure? She's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, all right. I didn't think this is how I was gonna die, but evidently. So we go down the right side of this fork, and we end up at this random trailer. And keep in mind, like we're driving distances, so like we reach the fork in the road, and then we drive like another 20 minutes through the woods, and then we end up at this random cabin, this like random trailer. And then she just like immediately was like, that's not it. Turn around. And I was like, fuck that. And like literally again in the Cadillac, I can't do a Y-turn easily because I don't want to hit all of the trees that are around me. So I literally had to drive in reverse for probably like 2 miles. It was terrifying. Get back to the fork, go down the left side, and then finally we reach like a gate, and she's like, okay, yeah, this is the right way. I remember we got to get the gate, or you got to open up the gate. I felt like such a dick because I was like, I'm not getting out of the car. Like, you have to go do that. Like, I'm driving. You got to go do that. So she literally, as soon as she opens her door, like a huge floodlight pops on right behind me. Shut the door right now. Lock it. And dude, like it was out of deliverance. This dude walks up to the car. I roll my window down like beep, like an inch. And he just like looks into the car. You guys lost? I'm like, no. Cabin's right up here, buddy. You sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty darn sure. But yeah, thanks for coming to check up on us. Cause yeah, that was the guy that owned that trailer that we, drove up to. I've never felt terror in my life to that kind of a level. Cause again, everybody has seen scary movies, man. The fact that literally that guy trailed us without his lights on for 30 minutes. Oh God, oh man. And it was crazy too, cause then the guy came back the next morning just to make sure that we were in the right place. Oh God, dude, that, I don't know. That was scary to me. It doesn't seem that scary, but that was terrifying to me. I never thought I would die in the woods. But at that moment, I thought I was definitely dying in the woods. Cause yeah, that was something else. That was a real experience. I'll tell you that much. That was a cool trip though. That was a fun trip. After we got past the crazy, creepy stalker guy. Brain fart. Yeah, friend of the podcast. We have Chrissy here who's gonna pop on and tell one of her scary stories. I really do want to hear this. Here, let's move down a little bit. Chrissy, come on in. Sit. Yeah, watch that. There you go. Easy, steady. And we're in there. Okay, so Chrissy, I understand you have a pretty scary story yourself.
I do. I don't know if it's scary, but it's just creepy. Mm-hmm. Something that personally happened to me.
Okay.
So after college, my boyfriend at the time, a lot of scary stories start with exes. Do you notice that? So the guy I was dating at the time, we didn't want to do long distance, so I moved to his hometown. Mm-hmm. And just got this little apartment. And right away when I moved in, I started a lot of sleep activity, actually. Okay. It was very strange. I started talking in my sleep, laughing in my sleep, singing in my sleep, saying profanities in my sleep.
So in other words, you just had Tourette's.
Basically. But one of the weird things was I would wake up and I would be like reaching. My arms would be up in the air. I'd be reaching a lot. It happened a lot. So I also just kind of had this feeling right away when I moved in. So like nothing moved on its own. I didn't see anything, but like the sleep activity was really weird because I had never done that before. But it was also this feeling that I had. I walked. Hello. So the way my apartment was set up, I had my bedroom, I had to walk through my kitchen to get to my bathroom. And, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I always had this feeling there was going to be a woman standing in my kitchen. I had a vision of what this woman looked like in everything, like, you know, shoulder length, brown hair, maybe, I don't know, but I had this vision of what she was going to look like, and always just had this idea that she was going to be standing in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I lived there for like a year and a half. I had a dog at the time, and I like the spirit stuff too. So
Jesus, what kind of operation are we running here?
Mom's ready.
Right.
So I had a dog at the time too, and you know how they say pets, animals
Oh,
are
they-
very susceptible, as well as children are very susceptible. She would always just stare into space, like at a corner of the room or something, and
Yeah,
I
nope.
was like, nope, she's staring
Nope.
at the ghost again.
Nope.
And yeah. And so finally, we decide to move in together to a different apartment.
Mm-hmm.
The first night we're in this apartment, he goes, I have to tell you something about the apartment you just lived in. So sure enough, he's like, when I was in like middle school, a drug dealer lived there, which tells you how fancy this apartment was. A drug dealer.
Real nice, like.
Yeah. A drug dealer lived there, and a lady OD'd in that apartment. Yeah. So
Bum,
I
bum,
asked what she looked like, and it was the description of the lady that
you
I
were
would
envisioning,
envision.
yeah.
I tried finding news articles about this or pictures of this lady, and I couldn't find it because I was trying to get a picture to see if it's exactly who I was envisioning. And
And see, that's the thing, man. That's the thing.
couldn't.
That's what. Oh, no. As soon as homeboy was just like, yeah, some chick overdosed in the apartment. Okay, cool. Thanks. Noted. And then I'm going to try my best to put it out of my mind, because if I do any digging, she's just going to show up again. So, yeah. That's.
so I said, well, what would you think when I was like, oh, dog's staring at the ghost again? He was like, yup, probably. Or when friends came over, they'd be like, isn't this the place that? And he'd be like he did not want me to know while I was living there.
That's so
like
jacked
the
up.
very first night I moved out, he's like, all right, gotta
That's
get this
so
weight off my
jacked.
shoulders.
That's so jacked up, man. Like, how long were you guys living at that apartment?
I was there for like 2 years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
That is so jacked up.
And like the sleeping activities
years.
stopped when I moved out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, so that makes me a little bit more of a believer, man. Dude, that is so wild. That is so wild. I don't know what's more wild, the fact that you lived for 2 years in a haunted place, or the fact that the dude let you live there for 2 years without telling you about it. Like, and especially since you were obviously saying, like, dog's looking at the ghost again.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, that's just that nothing like terrible happened, like except for like, I don't know, she tried to possess me, take over my body in my sleep or something, but like I never felt threatened. I was just like, whoop.
Just sketched out.
Yep.
Sketched out. Dude, yeah. Ghost. That's what I'm saying. I love scary stuff so much, but then I hear that and it's just like, ooh, yeah, I don't like scary stuff anymore. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't need that in my house. Not my house. That's interesting, Chrissy. That was very interesting. You have another story though, right? You said you had two.
I do. This one's not as scary. So actually, the house I grew up in my entire life was built by my great-grandparents, and they lived in it and everything and died in it. So just growing up, we would experience a lot of things, doors opening, closing on their own, lights switching on and off on their own. Sometimes the music would like blare and then it would go back down or something. So there was definitely paranormal activity there, but our parents would just be like, "Oh, it's just your great grandparents coming to say hi and letting you know that they're here."
Yeah,
And
no, that's
so things happen, but we would just be like, "Oh, great grandparents, hi." Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I did have a Ouija board in that house too.
See, that's the
and-
thing, man.
Yeah,
The Ouija boards, man. You guys playing with those Ouija boards.
yeah.
Like, that is just...
I kind of believe I contacted them though on it because I was with a friend and they said it was like my great grandparents, and I was like, oh well, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're playing cribbage, which like was a game that so
love cribbage.
how would my friend, if they were the ones moving it, how would they know that?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Yikes, dude. I can't do that. I've seen that movie too many times. I can't mess with a Ouija board. But yeah, that's it's terrifying. That is terrifying. I love scary stuff, but dude, I am a bitch. Like if it were to actually happen, I am out. Because again, I'm of the different persuasion. So the first one on the chopping block, I have got to leave. I've got to go. I'm like, sit down here. I gotta go. But yeah, scary stuff. It is fun though. It is fun. But we should wrap this up. Chrissy, thank you for telling those stories. I really enjoyed that. Guys, you can find us on Facebook.com/DippingMilkAndCookies. You can find us on Instagram @DippingMilkAndCookies. I'm at the Cookie Commander, at Master Milker. What else? Like, share, rate, review, subscribe, especially on YouTube. That's one thing I wanted to get to, guys. Make sure that if you're going to watch on YouTube, which we appreciate very much, I am seeing the numbers actually starting to go up, which is really exciting. But do me a favor, do us a favor, like the episodes, okay? That, again, it helps with the algorithm with YouTube. So just, it takes you literally a second to hit the little thumb up. Do that for us, please. Means a whole heck of a lot. What else? I got nothing. Oh yeah, McCain. We got McCain next week. We should be. We will be in the new studio next week, and I'm really excited about that because it's gonna be super cool. So make sure you guys are keeping your ears and eyes open for that. Other than that, I got nothing, buddy. You got anything else?
No, man.
All right, cool. All right, well then, until next week, guys. Everybody be safe, be good, stay healthy, wash your hands, and we will see you guys next week. Bye. High five. Yeah. Oh, jeez.